I don't think that I'm doing enough plyometrics, and this is compromising my jumping progress. From a strength training perspective, and even when I think about relative strength that I possess to get some decent jumping in, I am in a good position. It's the rate of force development that I should be focusing a bit more on. Because when I look at my jump days, I am doing plyometrics, but they're very low level and they're mainly used as a warm-up before I get into the assisted band jumps on one day or the loaded jumps on the day that should have been this session here. So I decided to take a bit more time to acclimate to different exercises that should be kind of targeting this like a shortening cycle of the ball of my foot just stepping into the floor and trying to generate as much power as I can and flinging myself into the air. But I also don't want to throw everything into the pot at once, so I kind of started with a couple of exercises that I feel are going to be beneficial from the get-go. The first one was these jumps onto the box from a kneeling position, and in here the aim should be to kind of explode from the floor, which is a rather disadvantageous position. So I'm already forced from the get-go to develop as much power as I can and also jump on top of the box as the second part of each repetition. So I did a couple of sets of those without the subsequent jump, just getting up from a kneeling position. And as I was kind of getting used to the movement, that took me about a couple of sets, I was adding a normal jump and then I added the box and I did 2 sets of those onto the box. And this second exercise that I was doing was basically bouncing jumps. So I was giving myself a few jumps, a few bounces to then explode into one powerful jump and then also landing and kind of controlling the landing, which seemed to be the hardest part of the exercise. I can feel that already it focuses a lot on providing some good core stability in order to stay straight into the air and also be able to get into small jumps as soon as I land. So that's already something that I think that I've been missing even when I was thinking about something like the band assisted jumps, where sometimes I either do not fully extend my hips, and if I do, I kind of tend to arch the back a little bit, and then it's a bit difficult for me to control the landing properly. So this is going to be training that specific part of of my body control that I think I should be working on top of hopefully providing a good and specific stimulus to the explosivity in my tendons and ground reactivity also. And similarly to these other new exercise that I added, these kneeling jumps onto the box, I took a few sets just to get used to the movement. The first few sets that I did of these, I wasn't really maintaining a good body stability throughout the big jumps. And I recorded the one that it's shaming me the least, let's say. These passing by were one of the 2 sets of approach jumps that I did, and the better one of the 2 for sure. The second one, it wasn't really that good, but I was still keeping a left-right approach because the sole of my foot is still giving me a bit of a discomfort, so I do not really want to be doing anything that is really pissing it off. And on the same note, I am at the moment staying away from plyometric exercises that are challenging the foot on lateral steps or changes of direction. So I will be staying in the frontal plane until I am kind of recovered from this annoyance. And this is the second set of approach jumps. The best that I could do was 700 milliseconds, but I also didn't really place the camera in the best position. So I stayed a bit more conservative on the measurements because I wasn't really able to see exactly when my feet were tapping the floor. The rest of the session was okay, nothing much to say. I got an extra rep on the first set of the weighted push-ups. So I did 7 in the first one, 6 in the second one. They're pretty heavy, so it will take a while to progress these. Ciao.